So as we get started today, this video is divided into chapters. If you want to skip at any point, just look at the sliding bar underneath the plating window and you can see the chapters to skip ahead. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. As well as my friends over at Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we have the Crochet Kaleidoscope Throw. Now this is an amazing afghan. I love working with this one. I've just been doing a few little pieces of it and I love the texture on this. It is using the brand new Ogo yarn and this is Red Heart Super Saver Ogo. There's 9 Ogos for the Jeweltone and 4 for the white, and you'll see how that will work together. This is a really easy pattern to be able to play with and I think that you'll love it at the same time. Now I don't have a sample of this particular yarn on hand. I do have just a little bit that's left over from my sample here. So this is what it will look like when it's open, but when you get it, this is the Karen Colorama. This is how it will look. Let me just zoom you out a little bit here, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you a video on how to open one of these and get it ready, because when you go to play with this particular concept it's going to look like this and you work from one end to the other. So let's show you how to open your Ogo and then we'll get started in this pattern right after that. So let's open our Ogo, and what you want to do is put your hands in behind and see this hole. You want to just use your fingers and just push those flaps up and the top will peel and you're just gonna pull back, and it is sticky right in the midpoint and you're just gonna pull and there is your Ogo. One thing that you should know is that the colors are equal length all the way around, but they don't always start at the exact same spot. So a part of the color may be over on the other part of the side. So we want to take it out just like that, put that aside, and you want to pull like this, and this will reveal a plastic tie that is in between. So taking your scissors, and that will open it, and then grab that tie and pull, and that will take that out. So that's what's holding it as a ring. So you can see that this color here is also on this side. So when you start your idea, you may want to start at a particular point if you want the entire color sequence. So if you wanted to start with this color and not this color, all you have to do is that you just have to reach in with your fingertips and just pull like this and just kind of hold the colors, and you'll see that the Ogos will split apart like this. So if you want to do color play, that's exactly how you do it, and there is the color transition change right there. You can snip it and then begin at this point, and therefore you have a fresh color of this, and when this comes back into play later you can bring it back around and have the Ogo finish. So the way that this is wrapped is really quite fabulous, but it also allows you to change color. So if you want to change any order of anything, just separate it and then just use it, and they recommend that you put it into a plastic Ziploc bag if you want to, but if you crochet as fast as I do, I just get a salad bowl, just put all 5 pieces into the salad bowl, and that's something that I would do for myself. So that's pretty cool, right? So we're back to the pattern here. You're gonna go to page number 2. There is a crochet diagram. The motif, once you understand it, you can put the pattern away and enjoy it. I will leave you with a sense of caution though. Make sure that you are looking at the gauge. If you're too big on your gauge, you will run out of the Jeweltone color, and that's just something that you have to keep in mind, because yours truly, aka me, wasn't following the gauge and I was running out of yarn too early. So just keep an eye on that, and there is a gauge right here, but it may be updated between the time that you see it now and every time you see the pattern online. So this is using a 5.5mm size eye crochet hook, and we're gonna get ourselves started. I do have a sample already started and I'm gonna show you what that looks like and really tempt your eyes today. So zooming out, this is what it looks like. The Jeweltone you have here, you have a greenish color that is part of this Ogo here. This is the Red Heart Super Saver Ogo, the 5 ounce, and so you can see that the Ogos just work their way out. So when you're looking at this, just let it flow, and that's something that is really quite fun and easy. And then the final round of each one of these squares is a different color. So it's white in this sample. Myself, I know you can't see white on a white background, so I just used another Super Saver color in order to get it to go down like that so you can see it. Now one thing I like to do is that I like to grab my Ogo so that it's coming out from the center like this. And now because it's only being fed just a little bit of the way, it should not tangle on you and it can stay still. But you can grab it from the other side here as well and it will unwind on the outside. Again, that is just something that you can decide for yourself. So these logos are really quite versatile, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today, and we're gonna work our way through making a square with you on camera so that you know what to do, and I'll show you how to put it together, and we'll do the final border today. So that's our goal, and let's get started right now. So let's get yourself started today. You don't want to waste any colors, so just create a really short tail end when you create your slip knot, and therefore you won't have to waste too much. And I want you then to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and going into the beginning chain just yarn over and pull through, and now you have the center of your square. Lay the straggler down on top so that it's wrapped around the ring, and so therefore it will get stuck as you go. So let's begin round number 1. So in round number 1 we're going to start by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, that's a double crochet. 4, 5 and 6 is a chain 3 corner space. So just remember that. All the corners are gonna be like that. You're gonna come into the center of the ring and you're gonna double crochet 3 times. So we have 1, 2 and 3. Then you're gonna chain 3 to turn the corner. So 1, 2, 3, coming into the center of the ring again, 3 more double crochet. So we have 1, 2 and 3. Turn the corner again, so another 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3 and then 3 more double crochets into the center. And then finally we're coming up around the other side. So you can see there's just 1 double crochet there. So when you turn the corner you're gonna chain 3, and in the center of the ring just shift things around, and you're gonna put only 2 double crochets this time because that first one counts as the last double crochet of the group. And then you're gonna slip stitch to the 3rd one to finish. And that was round number 1. Now if your straggler is hanging out at all, you just want to grab it and just trim it, and so get it out of the way, and therefore that's something you won't have to do later. So please do that now, and I'll meet you up on round number 2 in a second. In round number 2, to get started on any of these rounds, we have to slip stitch to the corner space, which is the next space over. So slip stitch, and this is where you'll begin again. So you'll chain 3, so 1, 2, 3 and then another 3, so it's a total of 6. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 is the double crochet, and the 1, 2, 3 is the chain 3 space. Now in the same corner space I want you to put in 3 double crochets. So 1, 2 and 3. And then your next space is right here, which happens to be a corner. So before you get there just chain 1, and there always will be a chain 1 that will separate these groups of 3, and you'll notice that more and more. So come right into the next corner and put in 3 double crochet first, and then chain 3. So 1, 2, 3 and then coming back into that corner again. Okay, so to get to this space we have to chain 1 to reach over first, and then coming into this, and this happens to be a corner, so we're just gonna work our way into the corner. So 3 double crochet first, chain 3 and then 3 double crochet in. So you're thinking, where's the texture? Texture is coming up next in the next round. That's where it starts. So chain 1 to reach on over to the next space, and then do your 3 double crochet, chain 3 and 3 double crochet. Okay, so we're gonna come over here, which is the space that we started with, so you have to chain one before you can reach there, and then just put in 2 double crochet there, and that will help finish that round. And at the end of the end of that, now you're just gonna slip stitch to the 3rd chain up, see, and that counts as the 3rd one, and that was the end of round number 2. So we're moving on to round number 3 next. Let's begin round number 3. So remember, when you start a round, you have to slip stitch to the corner space first, and then chain 6. So 1, 2, 3 is the first double crochet, 4, 5, 6 is the chain 3 space. In the same corner space, 3 more double crochet. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and look, the color just changed. Now to reach over to the next space, you have to chain 1 always first, and we're gonna do something slightly different. So I want you to double crochet in the next space. This is in between the corners, if you notice. And now the next one is gonna be a double treble around the front post of this one straight on down. So wrap the hook twice, and coming from the side to the side on the front, pull through, and then pull through 2, 2, and 2. And that's reaching down, which makes the color look like it's bleeding over to the other round, which is what makes this whole thing amazing. You're not finished with that space though. You are going to double crochet back into that space. So you still need 3 double crochets. It's just the middle one drops on down. Now before you get carried away and turn me off, the next round we don't do that, but the round after we do it again. So just make sure that you don't do that every round. So you're gonna chain 1, and then you're gonna reach to the next space, which is a corner, and it will be 3 double crochet. So we have 1, 2, and 3, chain 3, and 3 double crochet. So that makes up your corner. So I'll explain it one more time. We have to get to the next space, so chain 1, put your first single crochet in, and then the next one is a double treble around the front post of this one straight on down. So wrap twice, and then double crochet back in. Okay, so then chain 1 to reach on over and do another corner. So I'm coming around to the end, so just chain 1 to reach on over, and then just put the last 2 double crochet in before joining it to the 3rd chain up. And this was the 3rd round. And let's go to number 4 in just a moment. So when we start the next round we do not drop down, and we're only dropping down when there is a space that allows that. So do you see that we went over a space? That's the only time you can drop down. So the next time you can't drop down because there is something in the way. So let's begin round number 4, and so you're just gonna slip stitch on over. And so every other round is just like round number 2. So you're just gonna chain 6 to start, and then 3 double crochet in to the same corner. So if you're familiar with granny squares, it's the same concept of regular granny squares at this point. So just chain 1 to reach on over and just fill in the space. So each space gets the 3 double crochet, and there's just a chain 1 that separates those, and just remember that as you go around. So chain 1 and come on over. So really you get around every other round. That doesn't have to have a lot of thought process to dropping down in anything. And remember your corners are 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Chain 1 before you finish that last one, so just chain 1 and then 2 double crochets in the beginning. And then we're gonna move up to round number 5 in a second, so slip stitch to the 3rd chain up, and let's go into number 5. So just slip stitch to the chain space in there, and I'll be right back in a second. Round number 5. We're going to have the drop down once again. So you notice that there's a space here. So when there's a space you can drop down. So there will be a drop down here, here, and here. So there'll be 3 drop downs this time. So to start you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so then you'll put in your 3 double crochet into the same corner space. And of course you need the jump, so you're gonna chain up 1 and so you can see that you can fall down into this space because into this one here because there's a space. So start with the first one, a double crochet, and then a front post treble around the middle one here, and then double crochet back into the same one, and you're gonna do that with every one that drops down. So the only ones you don't do that is to the exact corner. So chain one to jump, and then come into the next space and drop on down. So just grab on to it. The yarn color just changed. It's so addicting to watching the ball just go like that and say, when's the change, when's the change? Okay, so what I'm gonna be quiet now for the remaining of the round. You know what to do in the corners, and you know that you need to drop down. So this is round number 5, and I'll see. Coming all the way around, just chain up 1 and do your last 2 double crochets, and then join it to the 3rd chain up, and that will conclude this round. So we're now going to move on to round number 6. So just slip stitch on over, and let's do number 6 nice and fresh. This is number 6. You're gonna chain up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know the drill at this point, and then 3 more double crochet into the same corner. So this round number 6, we're not gonna jump down. We're just gonna do the regular granny square work. So chain 1, just come on to the next space and 3 double crochet, and chain 1 and separates those, and then your corners is always 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So coming up all the way back around and just putting in 2 double crochets into the very beginning, and slip stitch it to the 3rd one up, and slip stitch to the chain space, and then we're going to begin round number 7. So round number 7 is gonna be a fun round of jumping back down. So we're now going to begin round number 7, and we are going to jump down. So we'll be jumping down here, 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 and here. So there's 5 jump downs this time. Chain 6 to begin, and then 3 double crochet in. I think at this point you probably get the concept, so I won't over explain it hopefully. So chain 1, and then come into your first one. So you got your double crochet, you do your front post treble down, and then your double crochet back into that same upper space, and you'll do that all the way across. So chain 1, double crochet, front post treble, and then double crochet and chain 1 and jump. The corners are the same, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Please meet me at the end of this round. This is round number 7. So I'm coming all the way back around, and I'm just placing on my 2 double crochet in, and then slip stitch to the 3rd chain up. Now round number 8 is next. You're just gonna slip stitch, and let's talk about number 8. Number 8 is the last time used in this particular colorway, and then 9, which is the final is the border color, which is white in the sample. My color was more of a fuchsia. So to do number 8 here, you're just gonna chain 6 and then 3 double crochet. So 8 is the going around without doing the drop down, so it's the regular granny square technique, as you know. And so just chaining up 1, filling in your spots. Don't worry about dropping down, and just making sure you got chain 1s that separate the groups of 3, and corners of 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Please do that all the way around. This is the end of round, or this will be the end of this color at the end of this round, and we'll bring on a new color in just a moment. So I'm coming back around, got my 2 double crochet in, and I'm gonna go to the 3rd. Before I fasten off though, I do want to double check this. So when I was on my own, that's what I want to do. So I want to count up on an angle. So start at the middle one, just right here, and start counting out on the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there should be a total of 8 before you finish off, and just make sure that you did capture all of the ones that you had to for the lift off, and that's awesome. Once you're satisfied with this, I want you to trim this yarn, and we're gonna bring on the fuchsia. Now when you go to do this, just pull it through like that, and just weave it in a little bit, and I'm gonna show you at the end of this segment on how to fasten that off with the tapestry needle, which I would strongly recommend. We're now going to move on to round number 9, and this is the final round, and it's gonna be bringing on the fuchsia. So just create a slip knot, put it onto your hook, and let's begin number 9. To begin number 9, you're just gonna come into the corner, so you don't have to slip stitch over to the corner, just go right into the corner itself, and then just fasten on, and then chain 6. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, and again you know the drill, so 3 double crochet into the corner. So this is a drop down round. So once you got that done, just chain 1 and then come to the first space, double crochet, and then drop down with the front post treble. And you already know what you're doing with this. Hopefully at this point you're just using a different color, and then coming back up, double crochet, chain 1. So coming to the next space you want to double crochet, and then a front post treble, and then a double crochet into the same spot. So I need you to do that. So when you look at this round here, you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So there'll be 7 drop downs that will happen on this round. Your corners are 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, and keep on moving around. It's already what you know. It's just a different color. I'll see you at the end of the round number 9, where the square will then be complete. So I'm coming all the way back around. I got my 2 double crochet in the beginning where I started, and then just joined with the chain 3. So or join to the chain 3, sorry. So now we're just gonna snip our yarn, and I wanna take my tapestry needle and just do the final touches. So in order to do that, do any loose ends. So I went over the edge of this one when I went over, if you noticed. Most of you do these techniques naturally on your own as well. And so you're just gonna take this, the tail ends, and I highly do recommend you do this, is that you're just going to glide it through the back side of the work. So if you can see the texture, you're on the right side. So if you see it flat like this, you're on the back. Sticking within the same color line, just pull through, and you want to go back and forth in this section a total of 3 times to secure secure. Your project can never stretch in 3 different directions at the same time, so therefore this should never fall out. Never a guarantee, but it's pretty close. And you're gonna do that with any loose ends that you have. And what I need you to do before you continue along in this tutorial, you need to do all 30 unless you're changing the size of the project. If you are doing more than 30, you will need more yarn, and if you're doing less, you probably need less. And I don't know the exact quantities if you are changing the size. So just make sure that you have everything ready, and you will have a configuration putting this together of 5 squares, 5 squares by 6, so a total of 30. And that's what our goal is next time. So when we move on, I'm going to show you how to sew these together using the whip stitch on the back loops for the invisible join, and that's gonna be coming up in just a moment. So get ready with all your tails, and I'll see you back here, and get your squares ready for sewing. Generally speaking, when I do something like this, I have all my squares done, and I go through a whole seam line at the same time. So I will have all these lined up. It's a 5 by 6 format, so it's 30 squares altogether. So I will go all the way, and when I get to a joined part, I will keep on going, and I'll keep going all the way to the end. So you need a very long strand in order to do that. Of course, if you don't guess a strand enough, you can always just stop it midway and then start a new fresh piece of yarn. So in this case, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you how to join. I'm going to show you how to handle a corner like this, and then how to finish it as well. So I'm just cutting enough yarn that I can do that with. And what I recommend on the one side here, create a slip knot, and you can use that to help feed that, and then put the other side onto a tapestry needle. And what I want to do is start off on an edge, and let's begin to do that next. So we're gonna start off on an edge right where they're joining. So remember that there is chain 3. So just stay within the back loop. So when you're looking at it from a top perspective like this, stay within the back. Go into the middle one of the grouping of 3, and then on this one here, go into the middle one and just grab the back loop as well. So just looking straight down, you can tell which one it is. If you use both, you'll have like a seam that looks like a window pane. If you do the back loops only, you will have a flat invisible join. And if you use the same color like I am, it'll be pretty much seamless. So I just fed it through the loop, and I'm just gonna tighten. so the loop tightens onto itself, and then just moving sequentially down to the next stitch here, which is still part of the middle, still part of the corner chain, just going in both of the back loops and capturing this straggler down on top. So now, so just look at your stitches. I can tell I'm in the first stitch of this one, so then when I look at this one, I'm on the first stitch of this one. And keep that straggler down for about an inch or so underneath the stitch work, and then once you're happy with it, then just let it fall to the back side, and when you turn your blanket over later, you'll be able to just get a tapestry needle and just hide everything in, just back and forth a total of 3 times. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna work my way. Once in a while, just give it a little bit of a snug pull just to kind of tighten it up a little bit, and then just work your way to the first joining spot, which will be just right here in just a few moments from now. So I will see you there in just a second. I'm coming up close to the join, and I'm still matching stitch to stitch. So if I was joining and this one wasn't joined here, I would just continue along. My goal is that on the corners though, when I get to the very corner one, which is right where I am now, is that I want to go diagonally to the next one over here. Okay, so go diagonally, and then I go back up top here and then back down. And I'm doing the diagonal so that it will pull itself into the center of that area. Then once I'm ready, which I'm ready now, is that I will just continue down, and before you go too far, make sure that there's not gonna be any open space there, because it'll be noticeable, and then just continually work down. So if you're turning corners, that's the way to go, but if you were going straight across, you go diagonal and then carry on, and so that it will have that same effect. I just happen to be turning a corner. So I will get to the other side of this section here, and I'll show you how to fasten off the yarn, and you have that technique too. So I'll see you back here in a second. When you get close to the end, or the end, you're gonna come right through, so it'll be the middle chains of each of them that will join, and if it looks a little askew, don't worry about it, and just turn it over, and I need you to tie just a quickie little knot there so that it will hold there. Okay, just give it a good tug, and then back and forth again. Just stay on the back side of this. So if I can see the texture on this side, I know I'm on the wrong side, so just stay on the back side, and then just going back and forth inside the stitch work a total of 3 times. And then just take care of that loose end that you would have had at the start of this, and just do the same thing back and forth on the back side 3 times, and then you can cut it safely down. So I'm going to move on to the border next. There's 2 rounds for border, which is really super easy, and we're gonna begin. So let's begin to do your border, and we'll talk about it. So just grab your yarn and let's begin. We're gonna come right to a corner space using the same color, or unless you want to use a different color, it's up to you. You probably won't have any more of this fun color left though if you're following the pattern. So you're just going to just chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not gonna take you all the way around because it's that easy, and you'll just start in the corner like you normally would have. So it'd be 3 double crochet, and you'll finish this corner when you get back around. So chain 1, and then just automatically jump to the next space, and then 3 double crochet, and then chain 1, jump, and keep doing that. When you get in between the joining, so you'll do 3 double crochet here, chain 1, put 3 double crochet here, chain 1 to jump over the join, and then 3 double crochet in here, and then chain 1 to keep on jumping. So just remember that the join has space on both sides, and they are both filled in with 3 double crochets that are separated by a chain 1, like you already know. So I need you to do that, and then when you get to the other side of the blanket, the other corner, it'll be 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. So it's exactly what you already know. It's just a much bigger square, and I will see you at the end of this round. This is round number 1 of 2 for the border. So I'm coming all the way back around. I'm putting my 2 double crochet to where I started and attach it to the 3rd chain up. We have 1 more round to do, and that's it for this blanket today. So you're just gonna slip stitch to the chain 3 space, chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 double crochet in that same corner. So you already know what to do at this particular point, and all you have to do is just chain up 1 and then just go into the space. So chain 1 to jump over to the next space, 3 double crochet, and then chain 1 and jump again. And so all the spaces are already known, even including where it joined. So you just go into each space, corners are the same, 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, and that's it for this. So I'll see you back here in just a moment just to finalize, and we'll be right back in a moment. So coming back around on the final round, you're gonna put your 2 double crochet in. You know what to do at this point. And then you're just gonna slip stitch to the 3rd, chain up, and voila, you're done. I've already shown you how to weave in your ends using a tapestry needle, but this is the end of the journey, my friends, and this is the new Crochet Kaleidoscope Throw by Yarnspirations.com featuring Red Heart Super Saver Ogo. Have a good one, and we hope to see you again real soon right here, and I'll talk to you again. Bye bye.